Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The reward for information leading to the return of missing toddler Caylee Anthony, now $225,000. In the meantime, her mom, Casey, remains in jail. The target of investigators who, like brother Craig, continue to find out more about the lying 22-year-old mom, still being held on $500,000 bail. Here's Craig.
These internet photos, never before seen on TV, show Casey living it up big time. At the same time, her daughter was missing. She could be seen in sexually suggestive girl-on-girl poses in an obvious party mode while hanging out with a new group of friends associated with the Fusion Lounge, an Orlando nightclub. Taken at about the time her daughter disappeared, contrast these pictures with what her father, George, told us last week.
Do you think she killed your granddaughter?
No. She's too good of her mother. No. As a matter of fact, every one of her friends that have came forth, we've talked to, that we have known, whenever they'd be together out with my daughter and our granddaughter would be there, they nicknamed my daughter Mom. They called her Mom because she was very selective on who she was with. She didn't drink if they were out drinking. She didn't smoke anything or get into, because she was very protective of her.
But that's not the picture these photos tell. A source close to the investigation told us that the problem was the new crowd she started running with. Once Casey got involved with Tony Lazaro, a part-time club promoter, she blew off her older friends like Amy Huzenga and Ricardo Morales. Our source said Casey became unreliable, not showing up for appointments, then lying about why, only to admit later that she was with Tony.
She never drank, she never did anything. She would pop in and say, hey guys, wanted to make sure, my friends were here having a good time, and she'd talk to them, she'd leave. Maybe an hour she'd spend. So all this has just caught them off guard.
Neither.
Okay, let me, I've got to cut that off. We've got to take a hard break. I'll play the rest of it. I promise you'll see every frame of it right after the short break. The cops, at the grandparents' home again yesterday. Back live, continuing our probe of the Caylee Anthony disappearance. I want to show more pictures. I want to go to Craig now. Craig, your piece got cut off at the end there, but we got the idea that she had a new group of friends, that she was slutting it up at the Fusion Club there, or just hanging out and doing things that a normal 22-year-old might do, but for the fact that her almost 3-year-old was missing at the time. Right. What's their explanation? The families, did you ask George Anthony, the grandfather, has anyone given any kind of spin to those pictures that would suggest some kind of, righteous reason for them?
I honestly don't think that they know that those pictures exist. I think some of her friends may. The pictures were, according to my sources, taken on June 21st at this Fusion lodge in Orlando. It's a hangout. It's a kind of a happening place, but completely different from the kinds of things
that one there. Hold that one. Look at this.
Casey did.
Look at this. We're looking at this picture here where she's feeling up the girlfriend.
Right.
And I can't imagine if your child is missing. Here she's in a room on the bed with are these random people?
Well, I think this is the apartment that belongs to Tony Lazaro. This is her boyfriend. This is the guy that she apparently met the beginning of June, who kind of changed her life around. She met him the beginning of June, started dating around June 11th. And, if her child disappeared June 15th, then you have these pictures taken June 21st, and, certainly she knows that her child is gone and she's out having a good time. You go into these clubs and that's what the atmosphere is. They're having a great time. Everybody's, doing their thing and bumping and grinding, and she was obviously caught up in that. And according to the club owners, they said that she was there almost every weekend during that month of June.
I want to ask you about this Tony Lazaro. I'm going to ask you about Tony Lazaro and Jesse Grum, the ex-cop who was her ex-fiance, in the context of who's the baby's daddy. But I want to talk to Rozzy Franco. Is Rozzy Franco there, the WFLA Fox
here.
Radio reporter? Yeah. Okay. Rozzy, you've really been all over this story. You're doing an excellent job, you and Craig both. Rozzy, in terms of, we all saw live, our Orlando Salinas was there yesterday when they came out with the 2 bags. Did they seize gas cans? You're reporting that they seized gas cans?
They did. According to the Orange County Sheriff's Office, they did seize gas cans. And those were the gas cans that were reported on June 22nd by George Anthony that were stolen, and they believe there is evidence on those gas cans. So they have taken that into forensics, and they're looking into that right now.
Okay, hold it there, Rossi. What about gas cans? What do you do with gas cans?
What do? You burn a body. But what's incredible is this is making it so clear that the grandparents are covering up for her. I said this last week. They're circling the wagons. They know the baby's dead. To report gas cans stolen, then to find them on the property is an indication that they've got conscious knowledge of this. They should be arrested if she is for the murder.
Okay, Kimberly, hold on. I want to ask you about the Rossi, the cadaver dogs hitting on the human decomposition. Is that now confirmed?
Geraldo, let me just interject here for a second. The cadaver dogs did smell decomposition of a body that might have been removed. That was confirmed by the Orange County Sheriff's Office. There might have been a body removed, and they took soil samples, and that was also in the bags. That was confirmed by the Orange County Sheriff's Office.
And when's that test going to be back?
Those tests are going to be back by the end of next week, so we'll have more information. Now, we all know that those tests could come back earlier, but as soon as they come back, defense attorneys are going to get their hands on that. So investigators are really, trying this very carefully and really, trying to take this very carefully as far as examining the evidence.
Geraldo, I have some information that we just discovered as well. Just going through the timeline once more, we noticed that on June 30th, that's when the car, that 1998 Pontiac, was found at that Amscott Financial Center, this area called Goldenrod on Colonial. Ironically enough, we were just in that neighborhood, and that's right near Tony Lazzaro's house, no more than a half a mile. This is, I don't know if we could zoom into this map, but this dot indicates where Tony lives, and Goldenrod is just this line over here. Very close. I don't know what
Lazzaro, the
to
new
make of it, but
boyfriend.
it's
okay. But
it's pretty ironic.
Well, it's certainly interesting. I don't know if I would say use irony. That and the blood stain in the trunk of that car. Where are we going?
Well, this is all coming together very quickly, and I think what we see is a woman similar to like Susan Smith, who was very much because the new guy she was with didn't want the kids, so she got rid of them. And then what about the decomposition that they hit on in the car, a body removed in the backyard, and then perhaps burned as
But Rossi, is it not a fact that they are no longer referring to the stain as a blood stain, but merely as a stain?
What's interesting about that is initially I interviewed Deputy Carlos Padilla on Monday and specifically asked him about that stain. He confirmed to me that was a blood stain, and now they are in the media during these press conferences just simply stating that it is a stain, and they won't have that information until
hold on right there, Rossi. You know why? Because they don't want to have to give it to the defense attorneys. That's why.
Well, I think that's one of the reasons, too. And then perhaps they initially will do tests and then confirmatory tests after in terms of the forensic material, and those will be here at the end of the week.
And Cindy, Rossi, did Cindy, the grandma, say to you, quote, "I don't want to lose another one"?
You nailed it. That's exactly what she said. As a matter of fact, when she said that, I said, Cindy, and I had to stop her because, she keeps going on with this. I want to keep looking for Caylee. I'm like, Cindy, what do you mean you don't want to lose another one? And then she kind of paused and she said, well, the media has been chasing my son. I don't want him to get in a car accident. And I'm like, another one? What does that mean? Have you lost one already?
Yeah.
Well, clearly, I mean, the grandparents have already know that the baby is dead. That's why they're lying, they're covering up, they're backtracking on everything they've said. Geraldo, these grandparents can be charged with accessory to murder.
What about the shovel, Rossi?
The shovel is actually being examined. There could have possibly been, and I asked Carlos Padilla this on Monday, could Casey's DNA be on the handle of the shovel, and could Caylee's DNA be on the blade of the shovel? And he said, Rossi, I cannot confirm or deny that right now. All that forensic evidence will come back at the end of next week. But once again, he couldn't confirm or deny it. We do know there's a blood stain in the trunk. We do know that the 1998 Pontiac is still being examined. All that will surface. And once again, just to point out, George Anthony has kind of been a stranger to the media. He's only been out twice. Now, this is a former police officer. So the fact that the body may have possibly been moved, I mean, you know, it begs one to question, is he involved in this?
Craig, to the extent, Craig,